Hey yo, what is poppin'? It's your boy Whiteout, and we are back with some Ren. This one was told by a few people to watch. I was told it's called 1 Million Subscribers Defining Success. They said to watch this, you'll get a good insight on everything. I don't know if there's any, like, this is a music one, but let's lock in and let's check this one out.
I want to keep this short and sweet because I wrote something that I want to share with you. But
Oh, okay, maybe he did.
first of all, I just want to say how grateful I am. I've reached 1 million subscribers on YouTube, which is a flipping huge milestone.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I wanted to say thank you to everyone who supported my music over the years, whether you're newly on board or have been here for a while. I wanted to say thank you to the YouTube reaction community who have gotten behind my stuff in a big way and really helped me reach this goal. So thank you guys.
I mean, I didn't really like, I sadly wasn't. How long ago was this video made? This is probably a little older, right? 1 year ago. So he's at 2.27 million now, but definitely like, yeah, shout out to all the people reacting. I mean, I'm reacting to him, but I didn't find him on my own, sadly. But it's one of those things where I think everybody who's reacting, I haven't seen anybody else's reactions on him because I don't want to like spoil anything for myself. So I'm assuming he's getting a lot of amazing traction though. So yeah.
Um, yeah, I wanted to read this passage that I wrote about success. It's too much for me to remember right now, so bear with me. But yeah, success to me means that I have a responsibility that transcends me. If I have a platform where people are paying attention, then I feel like it's my duty to make that count. It's far more important than my aspirations with music and what I could personally gain. There's a saying that stuck with me recently, which was a rising tide lifts all ships. Somehow, by finding success for myself has meant that I can find success for the people around me, and that makes me feel very rich. I'm in a very strange position right now where I owe much of my success to the most destructive force in my life, which has been the turbulence of my physical and mental illness. The thing that has by far brought me the most pain has been a source of constant inspiration, which ironically led to creations which brought me the most joy. Creating art which means something to somebody else and can potentially be a companion to somebody else in the dark justifies my own pain, and I desperately needed that to be justified. There are a lot of people alive today who live in the dark. It's a place that I'm very familiar with. In the peak of my health problems, I was severely underweight. All my meals had to be restricted and blended, and I was so tired that I couldn't participate in life. I couldn't socialize, I couldn't watch films, I couldn't read. My bones constantly hurt. Even standing in the shower was excruciating and exhausting. And this went on for years, with no answers. Nobody could have ever convinced me during that time that my pain and suffering would be a source for something good, because it felt insidious.
So he's talking about like all the stuff he was going through. And yeah, I mean, when you're in that kind of state of mind where like everything's going wrong, like he probably at that point never thought about what it could have been. He's just trying to think of like making it out. You know what I'm saying? Like making it out of the stage that he's in. And I like how he was talking about art in general because I like something that you make that you think could be funny or you, like something that is very personal and impacts like you that you put out there and you're willing to be vulnerable and kind of share it with people. You tend to find that there are so many people that actually have that same feeling or have the same problem or have the same issue that you are actually somewhat helping and guiding through that, and it just makes it so much more personal to a person. And it's very much so like it's very much refreshing to the person watching it because it's like I'm not the only person going through this. And like let's say they want to be creative in a sense and they want to be like, you know, successful in that. Well, now you get to watch somebody who's gone through potentially worse than you have and still have made it out and done it in a way that is still true and done it in a way that also means something. And it's just inspiring, but not only is it inspiring, it's just like even if you're not the type of person who's like I want my name in lights or whatever, and you're like, you know, I just want to be able to sit down, enjoy my time and do whatever, then having problems and especially like mentally profound problems, I guess you can say, where you're having a mental battle, whether it's with yourself or it's with any sort of problem in your life, understanding that somebody else has gone through it and kind of can help guide you or help ease it, or just let you know that you're not alone is the main key, is very refreshing and very nice. And it's something that I feel like not a lot of people touch on. Everybody just wants to be like happy go lucky, when sadly in the world there's a lot of mental problems, mental illness, and everything. So it's nice that his art can allow somebody, like, ease, or not even his art, let's say somebody else's art. Let's say you're not a fan of Ren, or let's say, and you're a fan of somebody else and they post something like that, then you could, like Juice World, for example. Like Juice World talks about like a lot of stuff like that also. It's like now you can kind of confine in these Juice Worlds, Rens, like these other universes where they have similar problems that could potentially help you out of it.
Nobody could have ever convinced me that something constructive can come from hurting every day. But I'm here to tell you that if you are hurting every day, don't be afraid. One thing I know to be a certain, to be a constant law of the universe, is that life is inconsistent. Life is beautiful and life is hideous. Life is kind and life is cruel. Dancing inside this dichotomy and inconsistency makes me know that you won't hurt forever, whether that comes from resolution of what you're going through or acceptance of where you are. You won't hurt forever.
Yeah. I mean, everything's temporary. They say pain's temporary. They say happiness is temporary. I mean, everybody shoots for happiness, but at that point, like, you can't always be happy. There's going to be highs, because there's going to be highs and there's going to be lows, because without highs, you can't have lows. Without yin, you can't have yang. Without the good, you can't have bad. So it's one of those things where it's like, when you're in a position, especially probably for him, he was like, how could something be like like how he said, like, something so constructive out of something so bad? And then you come to learn that, like, so many people respect you more and so many people relate to you more, because it kind of breaks that barrier of being like superstardom, or like somebody that you just like wish you could be, to being more relatable. And that's what I always love about artists, is the ones that you can relate to a deeper level than just like enjoying their stuff. And I like, that's why I feel like he is a prime example of that.
You don't know yet whether or not your pain conceals gold. It definitely conceals wisdom, and it's definitely a catalyst for filling you with empathy. So stand strong, my friends, and don't let the darkness consume you, because once you know the dark and become intimate with it, you become very capable of wielding the light. You could be instrumental for changing this world for the better. There's nothing humble about shrinking or doubting yourself, because you are large. You can be ferocious, and you could be magnificent. For the medical industry, who too often let people fall through the cracks, it's your duty to do better. For the people living in the light, who have either stepped out of their shadow or have never had to walk beside it, it's your responsibility to put out untainted love. Our own greed, desire to ferociously expand, and decisions rooted in self-interest can benefit ourselves in a material sense, but can be very destructive to the hive and the world around us, ultimately hurting ourselves. So we really must consider that if we're going to step into a bright future. As humans, we have an incredible potential, and it would be a shame to throw it away. So community, humanity, and changing our relationship with the natural world so it leans more towards homeostasis must be a priority. Priority number one. If you're watching this and there's a knot tied up in your stomach with bitterness, anger, or hatred for your fellow human being, be with it. Feel it. Understand it. Express it, and then let it go. You're hurting. Give yourself love. Forgive yourself, and then project that love outwards, and the anger will pass. We have a decision in every interaction to tilt the world towards heaven or hell, towards Jannah or Jahannam, utopia or dystopia, and some people's ideas of heaven will be another's image of hell. So tread carefully, but treat those differences with respect. Tapestries are made beautiful because of the variety and the sum of their parts. Thank you to 1 million people inside this rich tapestry for the opportunity for me to try and spread my own vision of what I believe to be good. And thank you for justifying my pain. Thank you. I love you.
All right, that seems to be the end. Yeah, that seems to be the end. So, kind of to touch on the last little bit of what he said, like he talks about doubt, and he talks about doubt, and he talks about all that stuff. And I feel like everybody kind of struggles with that. Like everybody is their own, what's the saying? It's like everybody is their own worst critic, I think it is, or something along those lines, where it's like you are going to sit there and you are going to hate on yourself for everything you do, and when somebody else might not think it's as bad. And I mean, it's worth putting yourself out there. And I'm not just talking about like on like, online sense. I'm talking about in public, I'm talking about at work, I'm talking about at school, like wherever your mind is, like to sit down and to be like I'm trying to put myself out there, you could receive backlash, right? And it's kind of like how he said, one person's thought of heaven is another person's thought of hell, where you, since it's one of those things where it's so, I guess you can say, extraterrestrial, right? It's so out there that it's so hard to conceive what is going on, that somebody has a depiction that it's this and you have a depiction that is this, and if this is their depiction, which is like the best thing that they could think, that could be the worst thing for you. And that's what I think is, like, I guess you could say, so cool about the idea, but at the same time scary, right? And going down kind of just like that rabbit hole is a whole nother thing. But it's really good at the end of the day. It's really good that he found light in the darkness, that he could make something that could impact and help millions of people. I mean, like we said, now he's at over 2 million. And it's like, obviously he found a way to turn that horrible experience and such a crazy time of his life to like a beautiful thing that's helping millions upon millions of people. It's amazing. So yeah, big shout out to him. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for recommending this one to me too. It's nice just hearing like more about the backstory and stuff. I've been reading a lot of what you guys are saying, if there's anything more, but it's nice to kind of hop in and like, just instead of seeing it through a music video, kind of hearing it. And also like, he seems to be very genuine and very grateful for it, which is also very refreshing to see, because some people are like, yeah, I got a million because I deserve it. And it's like, that's not the case. That, like, some people, yeah, some people do deserve it. Other people, it's like they're like, of course, like, I own the world type deal. And it's like, why do I don't understand why people have to be like that, but it's just interesting. It's just interesting overall. But yeah, thank you guys, and I will see all you guys in the next video. Make sure you guys absolutely smash that like button. Honestly, it's pretty cringy if you haven't. I mean, I'm not upset at you, but like, come on, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? It can be fixed. It can be fixed. All you gotta do is hit that subscribe button, because if you haven't, what are you doing, bro? Just subscribe, join the Whiteout Army. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.